It is time to headhunt mono red. Hello everyone and welcome back. We are going to be playing mono black removal spell, looking to fight a lot of the aggro decks in Mythic. Mythic is honestly full of them. Mono red and those kind of Boros and Gruul decks are very populated in the Mythic ladder. So you will have to kind of be ready for them. And we are playing what I would argue is one of the more perfect decks to fight them off. Duress is a 4 of, which typically seems bad against a creatures deck, but this just takes like the Sheoldred by Ghost against Boros. It takes the monster shreds against red, or those extra little like Boros charms, maybe burn or whatever. And in like the mirror, we just answer Unholy Annexes and things like that, or like hard removal spells, as you'll see later. We take Go for the Throats, or we just hit things that matter a ton. But with that said, we are stacked on the removal. We have Cut Down as a 3 of, Anoint with Affliction as a 2 of. We have Go for the Throat as 2, Nowhere to Run as 2, and Sheoldred's Edict as 2. Sheoldred's Edict finding a little bit of a home in the stack as just kind of the oddball out of here. Most of these are pretty typical. But Sheoldred's Edict over like 2 more Go for the Throats is here to basically get around that ward cost and things like that if we don't have a Nowhere to Run. But can also answer a bigger creature. For example, like Nowhere to Run, I could target a Valgavoth, but I can't remove it with this thing, right? So we do Sheoldred's Edict to make them sacrifice something like that. So that's why we're running a couple of copies of those. We have 4 Deep-Cavern Bats as hand interruption along with the Duress and 2 Lilianas. This is kind of our counter to control. Along with Unholy Annex, kind of the best card that's been printed for mono black in a very, very long time. I can't really recall a card right now that has been better than this card, as it is just like constant card draw and a win condition in of itself outside of just winning the hand battle. But yeah, we have 3 of these in here, not trying to overload. Having too many copies early along with some of our other kind of clunky cards, as you can call it, is a little bit tough. So we're trimmed down on that. We have 4 slashers and 4 Bloodletter of Aclazotz. We're all in on the combo to do it. If it presents itself, we want the option to threaten it, because Unstoppable Slasher then acts as a removal spell or can close the game against some of the red players that might think they have to attack out. And then we just play that Bloodletter, hit them, and win that way. 2 Archfiends, because these are also dicey to just play on 4 sometimes, as if your opponent gains a little bit of life, you run into a lot of problems. So we hedge that with 2 Sheoldreds, which does the same thing with Unholy Annex. We gain a life after we just draw the card. It's not necessarily that bad. Our opponent just doesn't lose anything. So with that said, we're going to dive into the games. We're going to see how they go. We perform pretty well. I was kind of having a good time, just kind of chuckling. We get a lot of games done very, very quickly. So with that said, let's dive in. Let's see how they go. And if you enjoy the content, consider subscribing. Helps the channel out a ton. And let's go game. Mulligan? I'll take like a significantly way better playable 5, I think. Keep. Removal disruption flasher, I guess. Just like, I always keep hands kind of hedging my bets against like the fact that it's probably going to be aggro. I know how most players get to Mythic. Just running it down with aggro as fast as physically possible. And then they're like, yay, I get to enjoy Mythic for a really long time. Awful to deal with. Awful to deal with. They play... Well, they can't necessarily play this next turn. I take this, because this is obviously the worst creature, with no removal in hand. So I'm probably going to have to do Deep-Cavern Bat again. Sure. And Higher Claw we can kind of keep pace with, especially with 2 Deep-Cavern Bats, we definitely can. They also don't have white, so until they play a white, like Sheoldred by Ghost is kind of whatever. Not whatever, but that land draw is actually, or that cut down draw is actually huge. Okay. Well, I'm going to take this Sheoldred by Ghost and we're going to just ride it out with these monster rages and see if my opponent messes up. Well, actually, they won't even have a choice. So if they go to attack and they play that land in hand and they monster shreds their Higher Claw, we can kill it, because they won't be able to monster shreds it. Sure. Or if they pump here, obviously we remove it as well. No, I'm good. And then they're tapped out, right? So it's like They have 2 monstrous rages. They have to figure it out from here. There's a Sheoldred, so hopefully we draw a land next turn. And knowing our deck, it's untapped, which is one of the cool parts about playing a monocolored deck is all your lands are untapped. Now they can bring up the land, I guess. Or they can bring up a Screaming Nemesis. Obviously, there's no point in me attacking. Let's half that life total. Very good draws. Like, sometimes it's just the way it goes playing mono black. You just need to do that. Like, I mean, we literally got a layup for every single card we drew. There's not a whole lot to say. I said, what card is good here? I drew it. Like, this is a whack game sometimes. On the draw 3 removal spells, an Unholy Annex, and an Archfiend, like I feel like that's gotta be good, right? We could go for Duress. We could let this happen and maybe we can blow out a card here with a cut down, and if not, next turn we can Duress, take the protection spell. Okay. Sure. Huh? Yeah. Fantastic. I will gladly take that exchange, yes. Liliana, perfect. Now we just have really good instant speed removal. There's no white. The Might of the Meek kind of just implies that they are mono red. Do we go for the throat here? Yeah, probably, right? Because like Anoint would be so much better with everything else. Resolve. Let's see how much they want to commit here. Nothing else? Okay. I'll remove this. There's nothing else they seem to have committed. They got the priority. They passed it, which means that 2 damage would have came through. Let's go with Deep-Cavern Bat. Get it burned by a spell. We miss a land. Might be the only way we end up losing this match. Or our opponent concedes, as they didn't let us get through our turn here to see that we missed the land, which definitely could have been more valuable information for them. But that's 2 games, like 5-ish minutes. Nice. Oh, this is way too slow to keep on the draw. Keep toss. Okay. All right. Interesting. I discard then. For the mirror, there's a Preacher Archfiend. Thankfully, we have a go for the throat for the Preacher, but that's going to be a turn away. Let's make sure I don't make the mistake I've made in the past where I've like not played the Mishra's Foundry because I'm like, oh, I'll just play an additional like black source out. We'll just have a good time. And then I just like went, oh, I missed lethal because I can't attack with this because I played it on the wrong turn order. So we remove that. They're going to just activate the Ghost Vacuum, I think. So it's like over. They know we're in a mirror, so it doesn't really matter too much. All right, stick. Here's my Unholy Annex. There's a Duress. There's an unbeatable card for us currently. Obviously, Sheoldred can do a lot here to an extent. Render Inert. Not Render Inert. It would be a cool card to play in our deck because then we could win, but we don't run that card is what I'm trying to say. I'm going to just back down off the Sheoldred this turn. I'm going to hit him with the Duress because I feel like there's a second removal spell, and there was. Land left. Nothing to do. Let's see what their turn consists of. I have a weird feeling that their turn's going to consist of bringing up this land and attacking me. Which, if they got nothing else going for them, then that's obviously what they should do. Sure. So, we still go for the 6/6, obviously, I think, right? Yeah, I mean, we have to. We can't just like bank on the fact that if that ran out of counters, they wouldn't have anything to do. And now no backup mana, and then our opponent concedes. Wow, Mythic is a weird place. Like, it's like in Diamond and stuff. Like, I feel like we're still playing this game for a while. Unless that last card's in land. That's 3 games, 8-ish minutes. Like, and that's over. That's counting queue times. Yes. This is the most layup hand I've seen. Turn 1 Duress. Counter spell that won't be online in time. We just take the Reanimate card, and then we just get an Unholy Annex underneath this Counterspell here. Then we just play this Duress, I guess. Or Deep-Cavern Bat as well, right? Moment of truth. They could potentially miss a land here. And this also is a slow turn, so let's just take their only card draw here. Get this Unholy Annex online. Seems like they missed the land. They have one blue. They're just fetching, getting out of the way. Maybe getting a... Okay, there's a white. We'll look to Duress next turn. I think while we can, we want to get this down. We'll see if they hit a land or not. If they did miss a land, actually fetching is a bad idea, even though it won't punish them at all. So we know how this game works. But fetching is actually kind of the worst idea because of the fact that you thin your deck ever so slightly. Now, is that everything? No. Not even close. But repair, recharge, right? 5 mana. Here. Obviously, we could have went for Duress. Our removal spells are dead. I think we have to try to close the game. Because right now, we're on like a 2-turn clock, I believe. If that's a black source, they zombify a creature out. That would suck so bad. Counter unless I pay 4. Combat. Here. Okay. I can't pay for it anyway, so let's go for this. Want them to counter this. Counter target, draw a card and then discard a card. Sure. So we get them to take the bait. And we fire off the Duress. We take the repair discharge. Good job, team! We did it! But yeah, you definitely like... Obviously, Unholy Annex resolving would be great for us. And the card draw, they definitely don't want to deal with. But then they use a counterspell and they discard an Overlord. And they get a repair, and then we Duress them. And they only have 2 more left in their entire 44-card deck. No real other way to draw. This isn't even going to come up in time. We're going to be able to attack again. And then this doesn't really do anything besides look at the top 4. But then their Reanimate spell's 5 mana. I guess they could play this. But then we killed them, and then Archfiend wins because they had creatures die. But sweet. Yeah. Opponent first. A lot of hand disruption. A really decent removal spell. We'll try this. 1700's ranked? I thought it was top 15. Clearly I'm wrong, but I thought it was top 15. Mono red, we have a Witchstalker Frenzy and a Monstrous Rage. Witchstalker Frenzy's kind of whatever, so I just take the Monstrous Rage. Our hand's actually pretty good at answering this. It's like, this can kill a creature, we don't really care. They put a little counter on there, we call it a day. I play the Foundry, and then I just see if they commit a card to this. Sure. Each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature. And then I feel like this is going to be post-turn play Screaming Nemesis, in which we can know where to run it. Now that they won't have like a Monstrous Rage backup kind of thing. Where to run. These lands are always weird because sometimes, like, because it can pay into itself, sometimes it does weird things where it leaves it untapped, and then... I'm not kidding. That is 5 games. My record time says 13-ish minutes. And that's counting queue time. That is 5 games in 13 minutes. This one's risky, but we'll keep. Obviously, the pressure could be too much. This card's bad. And then, like, obviously, it's 3 and 4 mana. We have a lot we have to hit here. The rest. Okay. So is blue-white Hottigen? Founding of the third path is troublesome. They don't have anything in hand currently that they want to hit. So we're just going to have to let them do this. I just, like, not a whole lot I could do, right? One of the downsides of being on the draw. There. We do need a land here. Take the better card of the two. Charter Course is obviously good, but looking at the top 3 and choosing is obviously better. Well, there's a hottie gen. Guess what? Cut down's not big enough, I believe. Yeah, there's a Charter Course. They must discard 1 even if they don't want to. Okay. We missed a land, which is a bit troublesome. Obviously, a land would have been great. Because we could have then Unholy Annex and then maybe led into Sheoldred, and then all these like Charter Courses and draw effects are obviously very like tough to beat. I honestly, if they've played the Reanimate card, we probably just have to pick them up. Cut down that, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I think just show me a Reanimate card. Oh, I need. Yeah. I mean, that also works. Just missing land drops is just not gonna get it done, dude. Oh, back to 98%, huh? That 1800 was just a dream. We will try to keep another 2-lander, but now we're on to play, so it's actually like probably significantly worse. We direct Felden. Okay. Ruckus is obviously really annoying. Because they draw a card off Ruckus, so we'll take it. Burst Lightning obviously sucks. Monster Trade sucks. It all kind of sucks. We do find the land though. Look at us go. Let's take another little look-see here. A little peeksy weeksy. Burst Lightning me, please. Fantastic. You have a significantly better card in your hand that I would prefer in that Monstrous Rage. I will. Yes. Now, I will say the main issue that we're looking at right now is they have a lot of creatures, and some of them are pretty good. Maybe all their creatures are good. The draw creature. I don't know why I just stuttered so hard. Maybe all their creatures are like the draw type creatures. Going for a Swift Spear into a Phoenix chick. Okay. Update. They have all the creatures. Because I was thinking for a second to myself, I was like, honestly, using the cut down probably would have been a better play. Is this the better play? Like, well, if they draw a land, they're definitely going to play out their creatures, right? Let's play this. I know we take more damage this way, and this is like kind of scary. But then the Bloodletter will gain life, and we can progress winning as well. While they tapped out, obviously we'll just take this out. We'll take 2 here. We'll play this Bloodletter, regain kind of that stuff back, and then we'll go from there. Hopefully no Witchstalker Frenzy, obviously. That would be the most devastating thing. And now this turn we get to play Unstoppable Slasher and a cut down, a land draw, which tells me maybe Witchstalker Frenzy's not there. A Godric, okay. Just an all-out attack. We feeling it? Sure. Is there anything I should be scared of here? I don't think so. This is how, as long as 2 or more non-land permanents enter the battlefield under your control turn. Okay. Cut down here. We want to do this now so we don't have to worry about some like combat trick with cut down losing us the game. And then we'll just Sheoldred's Edict this Godric, because it can always get flying, whereas like this Emberheart Challenger cannot. So we isolate the Godric. It is now gone. This comes into play, and even if they Monstrous Rage it, I have no fear whatsoever. And we win the game. Combat. Here's 4. And then here's another one of these, just for a good measure, you know? Turn. With each one of those, it'll be 4 damage, and we cover the game against red. And first, our hand. Sure. Land, go. I love the Damnation sleeves. They're so cool. Ooh. Let's see what they play. It could always be a thing we want to anoint over that. Okay, they are the Reanimate pile. Life Creed Duo. So nowhere to run here. Gorehound's good, but the combo is tough to beat. And it's so tough that I think Unstoppable Slasher has to come in and threaten like a potential lethal like every turn. Now, that could be a Shelter by Ghost, but we have that covered with our Anoint or Go for the Throat. But I do think this is just pure combo. I don't think it's like life gain or anything. We'll see if they hit. But we take away the Snarl. Well, we know what we're anointing, so that's pretty cool. They can't block, so they're probably going to block regardless. Because, again, for us, the life total game doesn't matter. Because we do half their life total as damage, right? So, obviously, Hinterland Sanctificer probably blocking. Because obviously, Cleric cannot. We could have, like, hit both of these and taken half their life total. But with their life gain, maybe they just argue that it's not worth blocking. Which I could see. But... what do we got? Are we blocking? One of the things about this matchup, because obviously I've played this deck quite a lot if you've watched my channel a bit, is like the reanimating is so good. It's like so on like the fence that I'm almost prepared to just like pass here and then remove it in response to them casting a Raise to Pass or something, just to bring back a little bit of value. The Snarl is a good card, sure. They gain 1 life, I lose 1. That's okay. Sure. Anoint. Now they have to find another one of those. We'll take the hit here, of course. And then go for the third on this. Nowhere to run, go for the third are kind of the same thing in this matchup, to be honest with you. Let's go to combat. Let's hit half the life total. And I'm going to make a 5/5 here. So I can't get hit, and I'm also threatening a ton of damage here. It's 8 damage plus an additional 2 over. So they're dead if they don't have 2 additional blockers. They raise the pass. They do a little bit of a value version and gain quite a bit of life, which is what I was afraid of. But now they have to find another raise the pass to get like forest looks. Okay. Yep. Sure. You're up to 16, which is obviously a lot. But the main thing is that Unstoppable Slasher, again, is half their life total. And they have to figure that out. Obviously, we're going to start this turn with 3 mana. Nowhere to run's not as important, I think. Yeah, I think they're only so loose with it because they have the answer. But yeah, we're in there. Probably needing to be a double block. If they block my 6/6, I think we play with the removal spell. If they don't block my 6/6, I think we pump. Okay. If I just remove one of those? What if we just do that? And now my Slasher stays and they still take 6. And now the Deep-Cavern Bat does nothing. And 2 Raise to Pass are gone. There's 45 cards left. So the argument is that we should be fine, and they have to play this like the hard way. No Descend this turn, and now they're probably going to go full protection. I'm at 15. There's not a whole lot to like defend with. Let's unlock, revealing the little tactics, of course. We attack because now all they can do is get rid of my Slasher, but it requires almost all their creatures. Will they do it again? They do. Okay. Not auto assign. So gotta be like this, I believe. We want this dead because the fact that it does scry on descending, and we want this dead because it gains the life. Alright. Now that goes away. Comes back, of course. Now we play a Deep-Cavern Bat. Obviously, they're empty-handed. We're just hoping to dodge the Raise to Pass. Sure. Will you attack? No, no attack matters. And then now we put them in an impossible spot, I think. You sacrifice a non-token creature. So they can't sack the flyer. So they have to sacrifice the creature on the ground, and then I swing for 6 and 1. And then they have to block the 6. But it is like, the nature of this game though is like, they have choices, right? Obviously, if we had just a removal spell, we would have removed the flyer. In turn. Ooh. Did you hit? No. Okay, very cool. No raised pass combo winning against us today. Well, well, well. We're going to quit while we're ahead. We're pretty good overall. I want to say 6 and 1 on the day. I did lose one match before recording. Well, I was recording, and then my dog started barking. There was a deer in my yard that was making noise that my dog heard. So I had to go check that. So I lost that game and I cut it, of course. But with that said, we went 6 and 1. It was a really good day. We actually had a good time. We loved running into the red decks, as most mono black decks will. But I think we had the right game plan for the matchup, right? Oftentimes when we play mono black, we play a lot of removal, as we're going to. We just don't have enough that we can sustain, like, we can't like remove something every single round or play something that's able to remove something every single round. And it just felt like today, at least, we got there. Duresses were good in pretty much every single game, so 4 of doesn't feel necessarily as bad. It always hit something, even if it was just like the smallest thing. That means we just, you know, we went 1 for 1. We didn't actually just pay 1 mana, discard a card to look at their hand, you know? It's not a... What's the blue card? I can't remember. Worse, now, the only card I can think of is Mental Misstep, and that's the counter spell. It's not going to come to me. But, okay. Either way. Yeah, so with 2 Anoints, 3 cut downs, 2 nowhere to runs to get the hexproof away from the enchantment decks and Shelter by Ghost. With this in play, we don't have to pay ward or anything, so it's really nice. 2 Sheoldred's Edict, kind of the same thing, but this also answers, like, an Atraxa where this doesn't, you know? And then we have the 2 Go for the Throat. It's not really stacked up on that. We're just playing universal removal because, like, we'll probably lose to, like, the big domain decks that go over the top of us if we don't Duress them, like, every turn. And what I mean by that is playing Duress, Deep-Cavern Bat, Liliana, kind of doing that game plan against them. If we don't do that against domain or, like, maybe even, like, blue-white, we're going to run into a lot of problems because they just exile the Slasher and then they answer the Bloodletter. And if they can counter the Unholy Annex, then we don't really have a lot of game plan there. But against aggro, like, if we're trying to be aggro, we have to beat aggro, right? Like, we can't cater a lot of our deck decisions around beating mono red or Gruul or whatever it may be, and then just fall short in some of those matchups. And we don't want to see a 60-40. We want to see more like a 70-30 win rate, right, in those matchups, because we are headhunting them. That is what we want. That is what we want to see. And that's what we want to beat, right? So with that said, I hope you all enjoy. I had a lot of fun playing today. I thought we were going to get like 30 matches, as like I was saying the time as I was recording. We 13 minutes for what, 3-4 games or whatever it was, 5 maybe. And then thankfully we got a couple that lasted a little bit longer. But with that said, I hope you all enjoyed. And apparently I'm ranked with the number, but I'm still a percentage. I have no idea. Mythic's weird. See you later. Have a good day, or wherever you're watching. Goodbye.